The death of a man found yesterday west of Calgary has been deemed a homicide, and Calgary police are now investigating this incident, along with the murder of 3 people found in a burnt car, as a quadruple homicide. Autopsies continue on the victims found in the vehicle in Sage Hill, as well as the man found near the intersection of Highway 8 and Highway 22 west of Calgary. We can now officially identify the 3rd victim in the car as 39-year-old Tiffany EAR, and the man found near Highway 22 as 26-year-old Hanock AFOWERK. Investigators are exploring the possibility that victims Glynnis FOX, age 36, Cody PFEIFFER, age 25, along with Tiffany EAR, were simply at the wrong place and at the wrong time with the wrong people. Fox and EAR were sisters that may have gotten caught up in a targeted attack against AFOWERK. The women leave behind multiple children. The CPS would like to acknowledge the family members suffering in this tragic loss and offer our sincere condolences to the family and friends of the victims. We believe multiple people may be involved and continue to search for additional crime scenes. I want to stress the brutality and ruthlessness of the murders, and that we are once again appealing to the public for any information that may help the investigation in order to piece together what happened. Though we are unable to elaborate, all victims suffered significant traumatic injuries. Anyone who may have information that could assist with this investigation are asked to contact the Police Non-Emergency Line at 266-1234 or Crime Stoppers. Information can also be shared via the Homicide Tip Line at 403-428-8877. And I just want to add that we know that there's people in the community that have information regarding this event. We know that people know what happened, and if they're scared, if they are in any way hesitant to contact us, they can do so anonymously through Crime Stoppers or like through our tip line, like I had mentioned. But we are, like I said, imploring the community and those who may know something about it to contact us. And I'll take any questions that you have now.
Have you been able to determine, or are you able to tell us roughly when you think that car was originally at the site where the fire was?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Do you know, are you able to say when you think the car was at where the fire happened, when that car actually entered that area?
When the car was there?
Yeah. Do you know, are you able to tell us, or willing to tell us when, it was after midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning? Are you able to?
The car arrived shortly before the fire started.
So why do you believe AFOWERK was the target?
Whenever we do an investigation like this, we conduct background checks on all of the victims, and that takes a lot of time to do that. Based on our investigation to this point, checks in the community, some information that's come in from the public, we've been able to piece that part of it together, and we believe that Mr. AFOWERK was the target of this.
So do you have criminal history?
I mentioned a couple days ago that he does have a criminal history, but I also want to temper that by saying that matters not to us. We're concerned about people that are victims of homicide, and we pursue every investigation with the same vigor.
What about the relationship between the 4 victims? Have you determined that more? I mean, you said they were going to be the wrong place at the wrong time. Were they friends, or do you know how they all knew each other? Yeah, so the 2 female victims that were involved in this, Ms. Fox and Ms. EAR, we believe came to know the other victims recently, very recently. So there isn't a big history between them. I think that you could describe that relationship as being fleeting. And again, when I say that they got caught up in this, I think that what we're saying is that it was just a matter of poor timing that this ultimately led to their untimely death. And what about Cody PFEIFFER? Do you know how long he knew AFOWERK?
I can't speak to that right now.
And is your understanding these were couples or just happened to be acquaintances? You mentioned fleeting. Couples, friends, any?
I would put it in the friend category. Yeah.
Inspector, you mentioned the brutality and ruthlessness. Why are you telling us that? What's the background?
Well, first and foremost, the brutality is with regards to the 3 bodies that were found in the vehicle. These bodies were, and I think everybody has seen the images of the fire that was in the vehicle. That in itself, I think there's a brutal context to that. And then the Mr. AFOWERK, whose body was located on the west side of Calgary. Again, there's a certain brutality to how his body was dumped on the western outskirts of Calgary. There's also parts of the investigation that I can't speak to with regards to injuries to the bodies. That again makes up part of the investigation. But I will say that it is certainly has been surprising to some very seasoned investigators.
So these torture type?
I'm not going to comment whether these are torture type or any of that sort of thing, but I will say that this was a brutal set of circumstances with regards to these homicides.
We know that one of the victims posted a social media photo around 3 a.m. Do you guys believe that she was the actual person who posted that, or are we looking at a really small timeline of when things like that?
Right now, we do believe that she was the author of that post on Facebook. Yeah, and that when I spoke yesterday about timelines, that posting helps us in our timeline. Just like if somebody saw them at a gas bar or at a bar or at a casino, that helps us place people where they are, and it helps us locate other evidence in relation to their whereabouts. So when she posted that photograph at 3 a.m., I believe it was around 3 a.m. on Monday morning, again, that lets us know that she was alive at 3 a.m. Monday morning.
And you believe AFOWERK was killed somewhere else and dumped there. Is that correct?
We're investigating the possibility of several crime scenes. Again, that forms part of the investigation, but I can't get into the specifics of locations or anything like that.
So, and you're not sure if he would have been killed at the same time as the other 3 then either?
Again, that forms a big piece of the investigation, and I can't comment on that right now.
Do you guys know what time in the evening, the night before or whatever, that the sisters left their children? I assume that they have to get guardians for them when they leave them. So do you guys have any timeline that you can give us? We know they kind of left their homes around 6 p.m. or whatever.
I don't know that. The investigators may very well know that, but I'm not privy to that right now.